Hello Blender folks, welcome and welcome back. I'm Pxy-VERSE and this is one day more of the Forge. So we're just starting this week on Monday and we have a lot of things to do, but I have great news. So as I was testing out on that last weekend the melt rig with some boolean modifiers, I had this idea that perhaps geometry nodes could help in some sort of procedural approach, and actually I found something that might be the, let's say, ultimate solution to melt rigging. This is actually some sort of alternative even to the universal sonic melt rig setup, which is what I was doing before on my character. The problem of using the boolean that create a melt hole on the topology is that there are many tutorials about that. That's cool. We can do indeed some melt shape. It's very versatile. But there is a critical limitation, which is the fact that if we were to develop volume of the lips, that is another story. So that's very complicated, and I've tested in different ways and couldn't solve. However, when I entered in the idea of this new method with boolean modifier, things started to work, and actually this is what I've got. I'm still working with that. Maybe I make a tutorial about that. So basically there's an object here that creates a hole even inside. There be different ways to achieve that, but for now that's the idea I had. There's something strange about the fact that its shading is flat, and that works better. I can't figure out why. So you see the interior there is flat, but if I change the shading of this, then this creates some shading issues there. So I'm not sure what's maybe this is something to do with some objects. So you see it now, but then the interior gets that. Maybe it's something to do with subdivisions. I'm not sure. I'm gonna still investigate, but here is what this rig does. This is basically, so you have the melt hole object, mesh object. It creates a hole, and it is rigged to this. So these bones control this mesh object. It's a wire here, but here is its mesh. Yes, so it's a wire. Then it is rigged with this object, which is just a ellipse, like something like that, right? And then we have this object, which is the muzzle, and then this it has no hole there. It just has this thing surfing. So this resembles the universal sonic melt rig, right? And then, so this is the body, the face mesh, and then this object is joined. Okay, everything is done by, the boolean thing is done by geometry nodes, which you see here. So this is the how they call it, the workspace for geometry node. It's okay, so it's here. So basically what's happening is that, yes, this also is rigged with a very poor rig here, and the shapes are I made this very fast, and so I was still fixing. It's annoying. I still need a way. I would like to have a procedural way to have the whole mesh, the melt hole mesh actually what I would like is to have, as I edit this mesh of the lips, I also simultaneously edit the other object, because it needs to be, I believe, another object. I cannot command an object to be partially, right, partially. Maybe this can be done with the, oh yeah, maybe there's a way, because we can control the, we can select by perhaps vertex groups of the original geometry, or sometimes we recall some material index. So maybe if I had a different material, then I could command that material only to cause the Boolean difference, which is the one that creates the mouth hole. So currently, so this is the setup, and I'll just show what that does. I did just today, or was it yesterday? I don't even remember now, but that's very incredible what this thing does. There's a join node. There's still some issues here to investigate, but the fact that this is working nearly smoothly like that, of course, on that shading, viewport shading here, solid, it might be looking a bit better than, but the rest is just because my illumination here is very bad. I don't know what I did to this stuff that everything looks bad. I think it's something about the changing of versions on this file. Yeah, this file, I deleted a lot of things from this file. Yeah, I changed a lot of things. So ignore the shadings here are very poor. But the single fact that this thing, at least on this, looks okay. This looks not too bad. And then this, yes. So the materials are terrible too. So, but the fact that this is working sort of here, very easy, right? Very smooth, we don't barely see anything that is shockingly terrible in terms of seams here. Like, yeah, it's not good, but so it's not perfect. Here I have something that, but everything here I think can be fixed with a little more work. This is very precarious. But it works, and this is the incredible thing. And so this is the join thing. Okay, this is the Boolean mouth lip. So this is the lips mouth that gets joined into the original. So this is the original, actually is this. So past experiment. So here we go. For some reason I put the subdivision. Yeah, it lags. So here is subdivision before, then the geometry node. This is another attempt. So this is what matters. So I have the geometry node here, and so we start with the geometry here. Okay, then it goes to the mesh boolean that it will be cut off, right? There will be some mesh which will be, yeah, the hole will be generated here. Difference, you see, from the mesh 2, which is the yeah. So here I've used, I think I don't even need this lagging. Okay, yeah, I don't need that even, because I've heard that with Alt key I can take this. Yeah, so I'm just learning some tricks this on geometry node. I knew barely nothing. Of course, I had experience with nodes in the shading and a little less on the compositor, but anyways, it's not that difficult actually, but there yeah, it's in the beginning I was very negative about learning anything. No, I had no reason to learn it, so it was completely uninteresting for me, in the sense of, oh, I'm gonna learn geometry nodes. No, I needed a reason, and there I came with this idea: can't this mouth rig be achieved by geometry nodes? Because Boolean is a modifier and geometry nodes are modifications, right? It appears just like that as a modifier, right? So it is a modifier, and but it's a special modifier. So here we can basically customize modifier. So we can make a Boolean or multiple Boolean on the same thing and recall meshes from everywhere. So okay, so here we have some extrusion. I'm gonna show that. I am not using this system right now, but I'm gonna show you what to. This was previous attempt. So we don't need this material now because this thing has itself a single material. So yeah, it's displaced because of the posing here. Yeah, so here is it's the Boolean mouth hole, this object here. Okay, it's invisible. So for some relative, then we set a difference there with the original geometry, and then it will create the hole. So that will create the hole. Then it just joins with another geometry, which is here, which is the ellipse. So if I take this off, I can, yeah, so that's the hole, and this is the joined geometry. Here if I, yeah, this is still working despite it is not joined, but yeah, the bones are shrink wrapped, but this is probably not optimal. So probably there would be ways to improve all these systems. So this is a Boolean here and another joint geometry. I don't know if this is not Boolean. This is just some joint geometry things. I don't know. So yeah, we have union here. Yeah, let's try something here. So I wasn't sure. So you see how I lack understanding of this thing, how I'm a noob in this basically. So here, let's get this thing to be here. Not difference, but union. Oh, union. Okay, then this means that we can set many inputs, as many as we want, I guess. So, and here we just do that. I don't know if that will be any difference to, it seems to lag a little, so maybe this is not a great idea. Regarding the seams, yeah, it doesn't seem to do anything. Maybe there's an operator to sort of redo the stuff. So this seems to lag a little, so let's change that. So I'm gonna cut it off and let's just do that. And so here, yeah, this is much faster. So it does barely the same thing, but apparently and so I can shape. So if I had the great ellipse shapes here from I can technically, with a good rig, I can technically have any of the expressions just like that on that plane curved surface of the face, right? Abstractly a plane, right? And then here you go, you have this Behelito from Berserk, this crazy madness. And but the idea of course is that we can do with more bones, with more careful rig here. Okay, so folks, I'm cooking some Brazilian food here, black beans, typical tropical food here. Hold on, back in a second. Okay, we are back. It was just the fire, I had to turn it off there. 40 minutes cooking on how to say, pressure can, 5 liters. So as you can see, very powerful food, that black beans. Yeah, every day, how do we say here in Brazil, the expression feijão com arroz. It's the basics, right? It's the basics. The basics. Oh, the Blender, you're learning Blender. You need to learn, this is feijão com arroz, this is rice and beans. This is the the basic stuff, right? Know the UI, this is the rice and beans. Okay, so you see this is incredibly powerful, and it's very extremely simple. Yes, I can't find yet, I don't know how to make this completely adequate in terms of I think for shading, yeah, but then I don't have, it seems that it's sort of joined. Let's see. Yeah, so I'm not sure about about all the details, but this seems to be properly merged, and here it really looks like it is, but maybe it's an illusion. Maybe this is just a very sharp corner there. Yeah, but I have this illusion that there's some special shading. Maybe it's just some reflections. I don't know, but it looks like it's smooth enough. So I think that I'm confident this, if it's not perfect, it can be improved. So it should be able to do what I want. However, a limitation of that is that it doesn't probably, the modifier, the geometry nodes won't work outside Blender. So unless I was reading about that, unless maybe a game engine, something has some equivalent to geometry nodes, then we could reproduce this system. So that could be okay. Otherwise, this is just a Blender solution, right? And so that's how it is. So let's do different now. I'm going to disconnect this stuff and let's see what was the, so I hadn't, what I was trying to do before, which is kind of funny, is that it started to work but it wasn't good enough, is that I was, okay, we are cutting, all right, then I was about to get, okay, let's hide this one. Here, let's see what happens if I go on shade smooth. I understand. This happens because of the cutting of the shade smooth. So something about the interaction of the Boolean difference with the shade smooth of the cutter object. Yeah, so bizarre thing. But then what I was trying to do was to bring extrusions of the lips. So I was trying to regenerate the lips, or generate lips procedurally, and all the information I found about that was sort of frustrating, because the folks that were working with that, creating stuff with that, many said about that. I even asked people on Discord, on Blender channel, everything, just quickly, but some people helped me there, and I was looking to see if it was possible to generate some sort of complex geometry like that in geometry nodes, but apparently this is very complicated. It might be possible, it's plausible, but that might be extremely complicated and time consuming. It's like not very smart to do that way, probably. Unless, also there's another problem, is that we are not able yet in geometry nodes system to edit or to select specific for edition or for morphing, whatever. We don't have control, manual control over the generated mesh or the procedural result output. And so this is a problem because, as you see here, if I were to extrude, what is, yes, here. So let's put it here and let's do this. So what you see here is the funny thing. Let's mute those two to start with. So this is just some, I was trying to make a gradual development of the ellipse shape. So you see what's happening here? That's quite funny. This is my beginning take on this stuff. So basically, this I copied from some idea. So this use material index from the, yeah, for some reason. This is very, the file is very disorganized, so I couldn't, it's a bit difficult to handle it, but okay, integer equal 2, okay, so it used this material, exactly this material here, number 2. I don't know what is material number 2. I just know it is, for some reason, it is the material of the lipstick. This one is in red, alright. Then the selection apparently is the mesh, the procedurally generated mesh. And so that is the mesh of this material index. That is, it gets then extruded face, and there is an offset, so I can control. So you see, I had the possibility to extrude it, which is bizarre. Okay, on top of the, yeah, but then it extrudes in different orientations and not, so okay, so I had to do positive. So there probably are ways to improve that, to do something about that, but then, okay, I cannot pick this mesh. You see, the original mesh is this, the geometry group input is that, and so this is all procedural. And so I cannot, even if I, curiously there's this stuff here, but this doesn't allow, you see, doesn't really allow even to select the anything. So I cannot use, for example, a shape key, an anatomic shape key to shape this, but I found out that I can, for example, add more procedural things here. So for example, if I re-extrude, then extrudes to the side, and then this is different than extruding from the but you see, there are some problems that start to happen. I wanted to scale this down, but because the shape is very not very organic, but because it's it should be a complex shape, so I needed the top one not to be expanding as much as the lower one. How would I identify those meshes? So this is complicated. I started to think that it could be, so yeah, okay, but then I think I cannot even make this stuff into a vertex group identity, something like that. And so I was starting to get some interesting results, but that was not sufficient to have so okay, so then let's say I started to extrude, then extrude more. So you see, this can generate more like more geometry, but even this extra geometry, because I cannot shape it manually, there's nothing to be done about it. So in the sense that I wanted, so it will be extremely hard to get this thing organic-like through procedural system. But that might be possible if I learned enough techniques of this mesh manipulation. And so certainly there are ways to like start to but the orientations already from start I couldn't find how to get the orientation of the extrusion exactly what I wanted. So this all starts to be just approximations. And so if you pick individual, you'll see that the mesh starts to get splitted there in squares, and so like an inset, or no, not like an inset. So so there are possibilities, but I ended up thinking that, well, this is cool, but since I cannot edit this mesh unless I can, I don't know, maybe use this stuff to this new mesh, maybe this material, right, to have some this material of lips. Maybe there would be a way to give it some yeah, so for example, if the original object which is generated, it's this one, right? If this one which has got this material, right, of the lipstick, maybe it had more materials than maybe for the bottom, different from the top, so I could perhaps make a lot of extrusions that would work in sync, but with different material indexes, and so they would have slight variations, and from that I would reach something that wouldn't need to be perfect actually like that. It could be but that would be at least more organic like, and not very mechanical like that, right? So I think it is possible, but then someone that I talked to informed me about the idea, yeah, maybe procedurally glue another object or generate, I don't know, a curve object, something, right, that will create the lips shape. But then I was very frustrated with the Boolean union with gluing a lips onto the face. That wasn't working. I was trying to make a Boolean difference, create the hole, and then a Boolean union with the lips, so that would in sync create the hole and create lips mesh which has volume, just like sort of like that, and that would glue to the face mesh with some, I don't know, shrink wrap and union, and perhaps some then later a corrective smooth, whatever. But all that started to lag a lot. It's created lots of artifacts, so maybe there was a way to do that accurately. I wasn't able to. It sounded extremely complicated, so it was very frustrating. So in the end, okay, let me give a try in this strategy here, in this approach. And of the lips mesh, I didn't use this tube stuff. It could have worked too, like the curved stuff, but it will be hard to create something like that, so I prefer to model it manually. So and then yeah, I modeled directly that, and then here we go. Okay, and then the rig, it used certain ideas that I already had from, of course, the Universal Sonic Mode rig, so you see here, but this is a completely different rig. And so yeah, and that sort of seems to work like a marvel. So this is crazy, sick. How would say Markham 3D, another 3D artist that use Blender for doing sci-fi stuff. He has a YouTube channel. And so here, that was the attempt, and so geometry nodes, and you see what this extrusion. Okay, so I don't need this extrusion thing. What I need then is, no, not doing that. What I need is to reconnect this joint geometry here with this, and then this with the output, and then everything reappears because the original geometry is able to bypass the entire modifier. So it needs to cross in the, at least in the way that I've done. So group input, group output, and so there you go. So this is the, I should make a tutorial about that. I think I can start this week, but I'll need to make improvements here. So this is working actually so well that I think I will substitute my universal sonic mouth rig for this, but I'll not abandon the idea, right? I'll skip the file there. There are still advantages in doing the universal sonic mouth rig, but this is very powerful, and it, in principle, it does the same idea with less complication in some sense. So actually geometry nodes are very, very powerful for some reason. Well, it's modern technique. But anyways, unless I find a brutal limitation to this, which I'm not sure if it, yeah, I still am searching about looking for more its potential and its limitations, right? But unless I find something that is very limiting, there will be no reason for me to keep struggling with the universal sonic mouth rig, because even though it's which I've been working on for a long time, right, with good results, impressive results even, but you see, this is much simpler, and I like simplicity. So I have to make a choice, and for me, this this approach seemed to be, procedural approach seemed to be good enough to for me to substitute what I were doing. But I'm gonna go back there because I haven't finished my experiments there, and I have a list of stuff to do on that file. So for example, if we check here, yes, there are a lot of things that, so yes, okay, so this will be back in a moment. Let's start the soundtrack here. Sorry, forget that. Let's go here. Alright, so this is the file with the geometry nodes. Let's go back to the... there's something I'd like to show, but I forgot. Yeah, I forgot, so never mind. Let's just open here and go back. And the cool thing about this setup is it's very... it seems very simple to set it up. Okay, so here back to the what I was doing to implement the universal sonic mouth rig, which uses armature deform, which is much more, which it was the teeth, the arcade teeth there. So that was I wanted to show, but it's okay because the state, it was the same thing. It was just to show aesthetically how those teeth also worked well with that mouth rigged on that way. So nothing special, it's just cool to watch. You see the contrast between the white of the teeth and the red of the lipstick and the face, whatever. Then alright, in this rig, so I can indeed make a version, split version, where I will sustain the last state of the universal sonic mouth rig that I would have achieved here, because I haven't been able to conclude it entirely in a good state, although with enough powerful results, but it's still not sufficient, so a lot of work remained, back and forth stuff. Plenty of cool explorations though. So for example, this idea of the teeth I want to maintain, but I'm not here to substitute the universal sonic mouth rig in this live stream. So I was showing the brand new geometry nodes approach with boolean to create the hole and then the join mesh. Alright, so I was showing that because I've just found that plausible that solution from yesterday to today. Yes, I've been researching in the last couple of days. I've been looking for this kind of Boolean alternative for a while now, and so until it came into my mind that, well, if I cannot do this with any other way, maybe geometry nodes could do. Yeah. So alright folks, let's see the list of things here. It is, sorry, let's see here. So re-verify shrink wrap modifier on the vertex group here, on some edge ring lips. What does that mean? Oh yes, okay, I know what that is. So you see how complicated it can get, so to get the proper shape. So here, but we're gonna, if I'm not gonna use the universal sonic mouth rig in this character, why I'm insisting is because I want to see if I can get the fine results with that, the result that I want, and in this model, right, in this state of the model. So I don't like to leave stuff uncompleted, but so it's life sometimes. So in principle I want to finish most of these steps, but I think that that will be the end for me for this approach. There are many rig approaches that I've attempted, and unfortunately the skinning algorithm is something very dangerous. Okay, the lips, the modifier, the shrink wrap. So yes, what that means is the following, folks. There is here shrink wrap mouth interior. Is that it? Yes, and that uses okay, this is one thing. Okay, shrink wrap muzzle. Okay, let's shift control X on some vertex. Let's see, modifier, this one. So what is this? Yeah, I see we can pick from this context menu here. Where is it? Here. So this is this I was using another. They are conflicting. So yes, so good verifications. There was something really wrong about those things. Let's go back here. Alright, so let's do something like this. Yeah, we can do that. So this was perhaps an older approach. Is that right? Well, it's mirrored, so okay. Let's do a control X here. Okay, let's let's give a very low value here just to have some smoothing of this stuff. I'm going to work here. Let's BV, right? So beaver, the beaver file, beaver or beaver, I don't know, beaver file. So I don't know if that changed anything relevant, but maybe yes. The fact is that these lips are now not so much constrained to the, so we can have a little more some. Aren't you shrink wrapping? What's happening to you? Why are you free to move while you outside an outside surface? Oh yes, I remember that. I've made that these ones can go outside. Yeah, but not the corner ones, because these corner ones are better if they stay in place. Yeah, so that was on purpose, but this can create some I was also having a problem with the rotation of the head. I need to investigate. I don't remember that problem, but so basically if I have here the command body, if I rotate, you see what happens to the muzzle. So I'm not sure why this is happening. It seems to relate to this shrink wrap. No. Yes, so if that rotates, can be that too. Let's turn it off. There's still some deforms happening. So I'm not sure. Maybe it's something about the muzzle. I don't think this is expected to happen in the Universal Sonic Mount rig, or maybe yes, if the meshes are connected. So I'm not sure what's the cause of all that, but it seems to relate when the head rotates, that this bone which is parented to the head, it gets displaced because it is shrink wrapping, and it sort of moves in some sort of bake modifier. What is this? No, this is not bake, it's just BKA modifier. Error. Just some warning. Okay, I don't, for cloth rigging, doesn't matter. Alright, so I'll ignore this, but this is something, it's not the main problem here. It is a critical problem, but it's not the, it's probably, well, actually this is risky, because if I don't find a solution for that, the rig is useless, right? But since I don't remember anything like that, it could be just something that I broke, that I don't remember very well what is it. So you see, it's not that the Universal Sonic Mount rig here is bad. Actually, it's working fine for... Oh, actually it got really improved when I fixed those... yeah, so... Indeed, so... But there is more to be done here. I need to... Oh, I had this separation here. Let's reset. Yeah, so that this vertex group was completely disrupting my... The shapes are really good now. At least for the top lip, the side lip is fine. The bottom lip is suffering a little, but I suspect this is because now I will do the... okay, so... no, it's not this, it's this, okay? Then experiment, lips, walls, extra shrink wrap modifier inside, wave bait gradient of... okay, so here basically is the experimental thing that I've taught previously. I didn't have time to do it, so basically if I go here on the mesh, okay, this is solved. Let's look for the other shrink wrap melt interior. Oh no, this is for the melt interior, so this is another thing. It's not control shift control X. This is for... so find the modifier here, which is melt interior. Oh, I already have it. I can leave it. It won't go outside, right? So okay, I can... can I do this with let's see, because I want indeed to get little more of this mesh to be pulled inside. So let's try to do some stuff here. Very simple. Quantize levels, maybe? I don't know, I never used this one, but... this is not working. Wave, so smooth, expand, yes. Okay, expand maximum. Okay, so this doesn't seem to be working. It's as if I had a... oh, of course, I have the... I had this thing on, so let's save here. Levels. Nothing. Oh, it does something, alright. Offset, doesn't go. Gain, what is that? Okay, nothing here, doesn't seem to be relevant, so I'm going to use wave smooth then. Ah, now yes, now this seems better. Expand, iterations, no, that's too much. Factor, max, is that the maximum? Okay, so we start to get some expansion here. Is this... that seems fine. Maybe a little more, I don't know. Then there's something weird happening there. Yeah, it's rogue waves there. So let's just reduce this value here. Still bad, but I can smooth manually later. Yeah, so here. No, I'm smoothing the wrong thing. Now it's smoothed properly, but I need much less C. Okay. There we go. Oh no, it's painted. No! Okay, let's I'm using the mouse, but this is not ideal. Let's... Okay, so apparently I cannot smooth that, so let's just use a mix of, I don't know. No, cannot control this vertex here, so... The problem is I go on this mode, I lose everything, so let's try to ignore. The bones are in front. Oh yeah, finally. So, and then some mistakes here. Just take off some waves here, and I think that is it. Okay, saving here. Also here, take off this. Oh, this is traversing everything. Very, very dangerous. So why? Something like projected, yeah. So I believe the interface should have some sort of signing of that a little better, because it's, if it's hidden information, it's something that sometimes we may miss, and it might be it's very fundamental to know if it's traversing everything or not. But it's 3D, right? There's too much information, so it's not like... Okay, so here I just want to erase a few more, so I'm going to augment this. Yeah, maybe this one. I want to just for safety, and this one I'm going to paint in maybe less. Yeah, this one will become something like just this. No. Alright, so I'm just gonna invert this stuff, right? So yeah, great, like this. But then there's still... Okay, but this one is easy to select. Right, so what's happening is that I have two shrink wraps for the muzzle. The first one is the traditional one for the universal sonic melt rig. Basically, the muzzle, this mesh, right, of the muzzle of the face, except for the lips and maybe a few vertices around it, but edge ring around it, but everything of the muzzle gets shrink wrapped to the muzzle ghost mesh, which is inside. You know that already if you're following or if you know already about the universal sonic melt rig. So here's the ghost mesh, to which the yes, the ghost mesh, to which, yeah, so here is an extrapolation that I've made. Maybe it's not well thought, but this is because I was, how to say, urging into some new approach, and I had to find, I found that would work to solve a problem, because I was using the melt interior. Okay, so the lips are working really nice here. So the reason why it was very messed up, it was because of some forgotten shrink wrap modifiers vertex group that was affecting the lips mesh, and that was shrink wrapping it unnecessarily inside the mouth. So that was creating some disruption, right? So because, and this was very frustrating, I wasn't even aware, right? It was disrupting no matter what I did elsewhere. Like I've worked with the retake, I've retaken carefully the wave painting of the lips mesh to no avail, but now we see the results, right? All this work was not in vain. It was just that the mesh was being disrupted severely by the, I've reworked the anatomic shape key of the lips. Let's turn it off so that you see. So this one mouth interior means everything there will stay inside the muzzle ghost, which we see before. So both are shrink wrapped, except this is outside surface, so it stays glued outside the muzzle mesh here, stays glued to the ghost mesh, which you don't see, it's invisible. Yeah, it stays glued to that surface. There's no hole there for the mouth, so that's why the mouth can travel like that, surf on top of the ghost muzzle mesh. Yeah, actually this rig is working fine, so maybe there's a... It's beautiful. Actually these shapes of lips are quite good, much better than the... So if for some reason I can't provide better lips shapes on the other version, the one with geometry nodes, the more recent discovery, that will be a reason to utilize this, to keep using the universal sonic melt rig for these cartoon characters, in spite of the fact it takes a lot of time but to rig properly. But this is the idea, this is why I'm keeping doing this, because you see, I've just found the game changer here. A stupid mistake, because it's complicated stuff, right? So a lot of things can go wrong. Okay, folks, so let's see here. Basically, yeah, we still have some problems with the shapes, I guess, and intersection, but this is not right. This is not the... Maybe a little more wave painting here would be nice. Oh, it was okay. Never mind. So yeah, the teeth, the arcades are very bad. I don't know what's going on with them. They are getting very angry in their shapes. Yeah, the bottom arcades always get completely distorted. I think it's the base mesh of it, it's wrong. And also maybe the wave painting. Alright, just testing things and start to think stuff. So this inside stuff, turns out I already had the I didn't have to create another shrink wrap modifier, because one that I was using for the melt interior there. So this shape key here that I was working here, this melt interior shrink wrap modifier, what it does, it prevents this whole mesh to go outside the melt muzzle. This is why the melt muzzle is going all round, so the mesh cannot escape this. So this is a bit exaggerated, right? There's no need for all this security, but it helped. Perhaps some other fact, yeah, whatever. I was doing that in our rush, and then turns out that I could reuse this for this part, which is also could be told as part of the melt interior, but it's the interface of the lips, right? So these walls of lips, it's cool that they get shrink wrapped inside, so the lips, they don't lose their shapes, but this can create some limitations depending on the case. Like we see what's happening there, we cannot push, it will be useless to push this forward too much anyways. So we have some limitations in some cartoony expressions because of the way this mesh is shrink wrapped. So a way to solve that would be to allow that here, for example, I can do this right now, immediately I can show you that. Let's hide this. Let's use the Ctrl-Shift-X modifier shrink wrap muzzle. So the idea would be to expand actually the inverse, right? To take off some of this. That's okay. So I could start maybe with that. So if I pick that and get something like, yeah, delete here, let's do that for now. Let's say that I start from here would be better, right? So expand here. Then here I already give a start to reduce. Oh no, this is bad. Okay, so wrong selection, I guess. Start from here. Still bad one. I want at least that one, right? So next is this one. Okay, so Control X. Then we expand. Cannot do that, so the same selection. So here we do something like this maybe, or maybe even less. And then yeah, I'm back to this one, so at least we're gonna create some gradual effect here. I've displaced the location of the gradation, right? But there was a gradation already, I just displaced. So by doing this, it would allow me to push the whole to shape some sort of particular expression like that. So even this one would have to be outside here, right? So in this way we can still we have a little more possibilities of shaping expressions, and for cartoon it's very nice, right? So I like this idea, but sometimes it's annoying. It makes us lose a little of control, but it's powerful, right? This can be funny, right? So unfortunately, unless I had a way to alternate between the vertex group, yeah, it is feasible. There's a modifier edit. Yeah, this is perfectly feasible, folks, at least in Blender. We just have, if it's animated in Blender, we could have something like a vertex edit or vertex mix. No, edit, so something like I think it's vertex wave mix. It would, I'm not gonna do it now because it's a bit complicated, but if you have the vertex group, the muzzle, right, the original one, and we add to it a B, which would just perhaps add to the group 1, which will be our original one. It will add to it, not replace, but add something. I don't know how to play with those. Well, add something on certain influence according to, actually then we will drive the influence, so it will drive the addition, right, mix mode, of extra waves on maybe the gradient there. That means that I could, with a single bone controller, maybe I could drive this influence, and so put the 0, or instead of it could be even the real time, so enable, disable and usually this modifier wanted to be before the what is in question. So this will be like before the shrink wrapping, right? Before the shrink wrapping of the usually those wave fade we want even before the armature, in my experience, but in this case I think not, because this will not affect deform bones vertex groups. Instead it will affect directly deform modifier vertex groups here. So I will be actually not even this one, but this one. So so that will be a way to do. I'll leave it there. Might be funny. So shrink wrap, and I don't think we have this possibility of playfulness with the other rig, the other one, not boolean, but with the geometry nodes. Yes, you use booleans, but because we don't have this relation, shrink wrap mount, switch, so basically I'm not gonna do anything here, so just gonna leave it there. So you see, the universal sonic melt rig seems to be more versatile in this way, but it takes so I find it's a cool feature. The problem is if I were to I need to know really how to do this well, because I don't want to be doing this on 20 characters that I need to make. So this is why it's a hard choice for me. But yeah, so we're exploring the potential to see. This is kind of cool, right? So currently the shape of the bottom lip is not ending very well, and I'm not sure why. Here also having some problem with this mesh here. Remember what I needed to check. So if I look at the anatomic shape key, it's locked, right? So this is the lips, pure lips, with very basic geometry shapes, so completely uninteresting, just very regular mesh. So this is very important in the universal sonic mouth rig in order to have the best deforms, right? So here you see that this rig even works well. The rig, I mean, the appearance of the rig even is not too terrible if the lips are completely regular and anatomically depleted of interesting shapes, but it's not optimal in my opinion. It's just like to show that the deforms are good, so we can use this this state of the rig to observe the quality of the rig itself, of the deforms, right? The armature deform stuff. So you see that in principle it looks fine, and the cool thing is that the deforms here are allowing a lot of shapes here to be. Can I do a circular shape here? So this is why I've made those. I'm not sure this is a great idea. Yes, it seems to be. Now that I fixed the and see, I'm able to fix this even without the use. Yeah, it's a bit rotation would be good. So I could do a pose asset. So it's the first time I'm making this after a while, I'd say. Yeah, it's a mess here, how I'm achieving it, but the fact is that I'm indeed achieving it. What's happening there? Something not very... Yeah, so for animation I would have to probably find some good interpolation between the two different pose assets that will give the expressions that I want, I believe. So, but at least we can see that we are able to make some cool shapes here. Round shape from all that, this is not trivial. So despite having so many bones, it's still, there's some mesh there that is strange. So yeah, so here's some intersection from them. So there's some stuff there that really requires some address. Yeah, I know what's happening here probably. So this should stay behind for some reason. It's probably the wave painting are a bit messy there. And yeah, so we can get cool shapes already with this. Either more angular, either more rounded, so it's quite flexible. and I could use the mirror thing. Without additional methods, maybe it's not possible to get all the cool expressions that we'd like in a cartoon character, but well, to be fair, this is most expressions are achievable through this rig, so that's very nice, and without using any shape key besides the anatomic shape key, which I was not even using. So here there's a problem regarding I think the maybe the shape, the original shape. Let's see. Yeah, this could be better, so if I turn this off, it shouldn't be the time for me to be doing this stuff, but since we're here, I think I've identified something that is not very cool here, so let's try to make some changes here. Yeah, because last time I was editing this thing, I was editing probably based on issues that horrid past where I was confused about what was going on because of those wrongly assigned vertex groups wave paint for the shrink wrap, one of the shrink wrap modifiers. Yeah, so here how to handle that, maybe by smoothing. Where is the gizmo? Ah, here. Never forget the gizmo, show gizmo, yeah. This very basic. Once I thought it was a bug, but I just had a bad understanding about the UI. Yeah, slowly fixing this stuff. Maybe this could, yeah, this might be a bit wrong here. So this is the shape kit. This is not the original mesh, and it's a bit messed up. Maybe this is affecting the deform, not the deforms, but the final outlook of everything. Let's smooth this out. This maybe is good. Ah, this could be good. Ah, this might be good too. Yes, and then this, what about smoothing this? Fine. This one too. Good. Yeah, so this. So is it really necessary to regularize to make the anatomic ellipse mesh regular? No, we can get some intersect, but that can cause then some issues also. So let's try to make a middle term, right? It can intersect, but we want overall better shades here. So let's, I need to see the results of that. in a moment. Ah, this of course I can. Ah, maybe the bone there is not having enough waves on some part right here, very close to the mouth corner, but inside the lips corner, but inside. This might be easy to check if I get the bones here. I need to turn on the light, folks. Alright, very dark in here. So if I find all the settings, ideal settings for this adaptation, it might be possible to keep this rig, even making it for lots of characters, right? It's okay. Not so okay, but it's fine if I find a simple way to a simple workflow, right? In this sense. Oh, here we go. So basically there's some mesh here which is lacking some. This is for the bottom. Let's use yeah, here it's very difficult to wave paint all that. Need to use the radical solution. It's not a radical solution, it's a good solution to this. So it's the only thing that the mesh responds to. Okay, here I can go back to this, and I've added, yeah, I've added this extra one, not too tragical. This is the bottom, this is the top. It will be hard to work with this with all those pollution objects, right? But just some small fixes here. Yeah, no, let's do something about that. I was wrong. Also, there's too many more stuff here. Oh, hello. Sorry, NPC279K. Welcome. Sorry if I didn't answer before. I didn't see the chat. Was not very clear here. So let's see the continuation here. Yes, the eyes, let's hide the whole stuff here, alright. Go back. Let's just try to smooth out. This whole mouth interior thing, I sort of not familiar with. I wasn't expecting to use it, but Universal Sonic Mouth Rig uses connected to the face mesh, right? So I had to try to implement that and see. This is probably bad, but yeah. Let's try to cut at least these ones. Yeah. Yeah, let's try to cut this influence here. Cut off, and that's it. Then from what it's inside, yeah, because this exists inside because of some blurring thing. I remember it's the effect of the why am I not able to oh no, this is a deformed bone, of course. I'm looking only at the deformed bones, so I need to check what's going on here. To eclipse. Yeah, this thing is still weird, so I'm not sure what is a good moment to investigate what's going on for this. You see the mesh shrink wrapping there, so this is expected. Actually, I could simplify all this work, right? So if I just get this rid. Yeah, so this is probably the effect of the shrink wrapping mesh that is affecting this in this way. So it's not like, it's not something that I should be preoccupied. Here though, interesting. Let's try do something here. Well, this is actually curious. So it seems to have an effect here. a gradation that I wasn't counting. So it was not just the, yeah, it's it can actually be improved. So I don't really know if I should maintain all this. It causes a lot of problems to me. If I can delete it or separate it, maybe that would be cool. Because I have to investigate. It gives a lot of work to maintain this structure, but its advantage is that for shading it's very easy. It's just the melt interior. Ah, there we go. Same thing there. So that mesh will be shrink wrapped outside anyway, so it cannot really cross. So it's okay if it gets a lot of weights like that. What is not very cool is this lack of discontinuity in the flow of the wave paint. So this is annoying to have to re-wave those things just because of the continuation of the mesh there inside. But well, yeah, at least it's not. Yeah, maybe I should revise all that, right? So if I get basically the workflow for that, I think, is to have, as I have these strips for each of the lower and corner and top upper lip, I can have those strips continue there, so I could have everything more organized. Let's try to fix here also some problems. Yeah, there you see the discontinuity. Let's save here. There we go. What's the shortcut for that? Well, Shift Alt A. It's not working. Ah, Shift Alt A. No. It does something else. Yeah, never mind. So this one. Yeah, same problems. The mirror is here. The plane of symmetry. Alright, so this mouth interior is a mess, and it has a lot of geometry, but fixed sort of. I'm not really satisfied with the amount of the wave paint that relates them, but it doesn't need to be perfect. If it works, it's fine. Then if I check here, I've got the X mirror for posing. Alright, so the bottom lip sometimes don't get a very nice shape. I am not sure why it gets like, you see here, it gets too expanded, protruded, but very thin. It should be, it's more here that it's bad, but for there it's okay. For the bottom, there's just a mesh geometry. So maybe it's, yeah, it's probably, oh yeah, it's probably this. So here it's because of this. So how to solve this geometry? Let's try to get the, yeah, we are in the anatomic shape key. So I'm going to maybe I push this forward, and that too, yeah. Let's try to bring, yeah, let's try to bring this forward. There we go. No? Yes, it is this one. It's just that it's yeah, there's a selection. This is just a glitch. So I want this to be push this forward, just like that. Then smooth out. Yeah, a little more rounded. Where that goes? Where does that go? I don't understand why it travels that far. Seems to be a mistake. Okay, let's smooth this out entirely. Let's use proportional posing here. Edition. Let's try to move this slightly up, like that. Okay, maybe it got a little... That didn't improve too much actually. This face is just... Let's try this. From a frontal view, yeah, it is slightly better, but this looks a bit distorted now. We just need some smoothing here, especially here. Still looking bad. Maybe there's just some wave painting then. But it doesn't look too bad. Reset. I still have this stuff there. It's like I'm not being able to catch the... Oh, I totally forgot that there was a shape of the lips that I should be able to reproduce. It's the kiss shape. Maybe with this rig this is not very plausible with armature deform, yeah, because of the artifacts that these rotations should generate. Have not even tried that because this is more complex stuff. I was already struggling with the more elementary stuff. Not they would be simpler to be achieved in strangely this is not generating super artifacts for some reason. Strangely this is very accurate, but cannot be too good. Eventually something will break. But no, this is quite... I don't know how this is possible, folks. These domes are rotating largely. It's the miracle of the universal sonic melt rig, maybe. I don't know what I've done, folks. Oh, part of it. Maybe it's because of the shape keys. No, they are shape keys. Yeah, certainly. Oh yes, yes, it is. Folks, it's not anything like is one of the fundamental of the universal sonic melt rig. This is only possible through this armature deform because of this regular lip shapes that we see like that here. Because this mesh is very regular, I believe, when it suffers this brutal rotation, it's very easy to these shapes to get to this amount of natural organic, despite the amount of, this is 90 degrees rotation. This is brutal. This will destroy most meshes, but because it's very regular and because I'm counting at least, let's say at least 40% of the organic shape, they are sort of already suffering some sort of mesh morph rotation. So this is going like 30% the way, and this is just an anatomical shape, so this is not from the, so it's retaining the, so it's like from that, yeah, okay, so, and so it's like this bone doesn't need to rotate, well, it's still rotating 90 degrees, right? So, but it may be that the regular mesh, it's just a little better to prevent the artifacts that will certainly start to occur. If I start to rotate more, of course, then it will start creating very bizarre things. Yeah, as we see the the mesh start to, it becomes a black hole. And yeah, so never mind. But incredibly, we can achieve this. So yes, that was in the fundamentals of the universal sonic melt rig, and I believe the author Kanal was aware of this. What he didn't propose, though, what I need to create a, need to inform that solution, because all the time here I was making experiments basically. So this anatomic shape key is a solution that seems to be reliable and very powerful too. So it complements stuff for the universal sonic melt rig. So it's a shape key that is always on. Alright folks, so what's next? What can be next here? Yeah, I'm gonna check my list. So here, this is done. Experiment lips or shrink wrap. Okay, we did. Experiment make, so this is a out of curiosity, and that would also be. The question is that all of this stuff here, I was thinking about that because the shapes of the lips I was having were terrible at some point, but that was because of the mistake in the some shrink wrapping modifier vertex group. So it was yeah, but there's still some stuff that needs some improvement. But overall, the lips are not, now the lips are no more the real problem. So I think I can dismiss those attempts, because this will take a lot of investigation. I wanted to do this today, but all this, yeah, this is probably just gonna be useful at this point, useless at this point. Yeah, a lot of trouble here for nothing. This Shades are doing well, so it'll be still interesting, but scientific interest. Like regular, if I had a more regular muzzle, as this mesh wasn't regular enough, yeah, it could even be more regular. If it were very, the idea is, what if this mesh were very spherical, or very, yeah, very spherical, not with complex shapes from default by the binding pose state, that is the rest position, or maybe by the input of shape keys. So one thing that I can do partially here, yeah, I can make a partial test that will help me understand some elements here. So I'm going to create a shape key here for the muzzle ghost. I want to see what happens if I, yeah, ghost. I'm gonna use the proportional posing here. I want to see if how the shrink wrap responds to this. Oh, the shrink wrap is responding. Well, not that much, but there is some interaction, and this is a shape key. So that's interesting. Yes, the mesh is responding to this. Alright, so we know that the interesting. So shrink wrap modifier indeed responds in real time to shape key morphs. Otherwise this mesh wouldn't be moving. So this already yes, shape key morphs affects shrink wrap modifier. The mesh, yeah, the muzzle mesh suffering from shrink wrap modifier. Where's my to muzzle ghost mesh? That's interesting. Ah, that color. All right. So what that can this feature help in any way that I can think of here? Well, there's a puff cheeks in the Universal Sonic Melt. Really could be made with something like that, but it is I'm not inclined to do this setup now, so this was just for this test. I can probably delete this stuff now. Okay, the test is made here. Okay, so since I'm talking about the deforms, it's not about the shape key, so this I'm mostly sure. So this means that the experiment here will be actually there are two things here, and one of them is done, but the other is the first one. Test if melt deforms get better if the... Yeah, so that means... No, it's not shape key, this is wrong. It makes no sense. So, yeah, so that means that it's the binding pose state, right? Just as, yeah, shape key interaction is the secondary thing. Make muzzle meshes regular from their binding pose state, that is rest position. Verify. So the shape key, the rest position is the primordial setup. So this will be very, very bizarre to do, even annoying experimentally on this character, because that means I'll have to shape the whole. It would actually be difficult to check it here in this state. There are too many stuff on this file going on, so it will be hard to verify. I'll have to have a duplicate of the rig of the object. That's too much stuff going on. Well, I could make a new scene, right? Yeah, double scene, so that might be the way to compare. Yeah, so, but even so, it will be, yeah, so I can, if made not doing, if use two scenes could better compare the rounded lower face rest position mesh with, yeah, that's muzzle with the original yeah, the original with the experimental version rounded nose. Yeah, so all that that mean I have to shape the, I have to have a constant anatomic shape for the character design itself, which is not a new idea to me, because I thought that these anatomic morphs, they could be used as a means to, like, from a base mesh, very rough mesh but very regular mesh, then from that very regular base mesh we try to reach very we try to rig that like low poly stuff, very regular, and then if we can rig that very regular mesh, base mesh, with quality, which is very hard. It's nearly as hard as doing with rigging a complex character already with complex shapes. The problem, the artifacts are the same through the skinning methods, right? So I've tried it, so it's not trivial. It's the same problems, but sometimes we have the possibility of making things slightly different. Sometimes it might be simpler to solve some problems, and if you can find a rig for that works, then we could use the anatomic shape keys to get instant organic morphs, and then like these shapes is muscles, bony shapes, all that. Of course, the mesh topology probably needs to be more or less already set or prepared to improve the deforms, but it could be the deforms of the regular base mesh, not the deforms of a character shaped like that. Even if those shapes are already sort of simple, the regular base mesh would be much simpler than that. And so if we can, so that is an experiment that I need to go deeper into. I'm confident that I have hopes that if I can rig a regular base mesh, if rigging a regular base mesh is easier than rigging that, then this could be a very cool approach. If we solve the artifacts on a regular base mesh, simplified, right? If we can solve the artifacts there, we can add the shape key on top of that, and that will give the anatomical shapes, which will follow up the good base mesh, base regular mesh stuff that are going on. So that's it. Yeah. So let's. That will not be for today, of course. I'm just trying to explain. Sorry. What's all that about? So here, let's check the character. Okay, she's looking cool. But yeah, the texture paint. I need to find a solution for that thing soon enough. Just fixing some. Why not, right? So why not now, right? This is too ugly, right? Let's see if I can just, why am I doing this? Bad habit, folks. We have a texture painting, right? Yeah, I have some problems here apparently. So where would be the the face here? Yeah, I think it's those meshes here. So this and this. Okay, let's try. Yeah, here also there are some issues on this part of the mesh here. All right, let's try this. If I'm not wrong, UV. Can I hide? I don't think that I can. Oh, I can mask this, of course, right? Then I go on image texture, but then I cannot. There's no mask here on that kind, right? think this is there's no mask here. So what I can do is control texture paint 9, and maybe I can try to if I remember what was the if there's any oh, it's not enabled. Okay, now it is. Where are the lips? This usually lags a lot if it's too big. The yeah, so some strange stuff happening there. This is just some fixing, it's not... Yeah, keep some strange shapes keep popping. Maybe I should just wait, paint there. Or maybe try... Yeah, so this doesn't solve too much, so maybe I should just reduce here and keep trying. Okay, but at least we solved some of the worst things that were, well, lot of things to, yeah, this would be a work to be assured in another. Okay, but it feels good. Oops, it feels good to have at least we addressed a little of this. I like texture painting somewhat. I just don't have a lot of experience with that. Yeah, getting rid of this terrible mistakes. Yeah, but then okay, not for now. At least for the face, that is good. Well, I don't know what are those things there. It's a long time I made this image texture, so no, seems that something weren't very fixed there, so oh, I see, the lips were sort of hidden, so I'm not sure why this is. Something there is reluctant to change. This is not normal. Let's try to this can be related perhaps to some nodes there in the shader. Actually, yeah, might be something about the shader. It's going crazy. Let's see. So it's skin. Okay, where is it? Closest, I think there's some idea about this. UV might be a problem with the UV. Everything seems... No, there's nothing in the shader that will be causing this eruption. This is just another setup that is not being used. Let's see. Okay, seems it disappears. Something about... Oh yeah, okay, so it was closest. Change closest. Something to remember. Texture. Alright, so this will be, I don't know, and I go to cloth rigging maybe, yes, about here. Alright, so this I think, so we're not gonna do it, we'll keep this as a experimental maybe for it will set as done, so whatever. You can always research that. Oh, that's also done. Bendy bone, no, not gonna do that too. That will be sick. I only had this idea because I started getting this pair of the lips, but they are seems to be working out. So okay, that was just a problem there with the. Let's go back to the basic layout. Yes, I remember now by heart, of course. I have to fix. This is working very nice, right? Currently, yeah. Look at those expressions. All armature deformed. This is crazy. Indeed, this is really working well. So surprise. Just that arcades now are more critical. Yeah, there's some stuff there that we probably would like to avoid. I don't know what's going on there. Just some excessive rotation here that we can rotate and derotate. This is not very smart. There should be better ways to solve this part. Maybe a bit more mesh, I'm not sure. But anyways, yeah, we cannot have this kind of high rotation there. This can be problematic, but I should be able to make some expressions, radical expressions, that won't mess up the rig. So why this is being a problem now of a sudden? I have to remember this bone. Yeah, it is jumping there. Yeah, so sometimes this stuff can happen, in part because these bones are shrink wrapped. If they weren't shrink wrapped, it could get even worse. Let's try to demonstrate that. So if all these bones here, they got a shrink wrap modifier, if I turn this off, so what happens is that we start having this sort of the bones start to get inside the face, which is very bad. You see how much it distorts the everything, right? So even though this bone doesn't get like that, of course this gives some more freedom, but it's very well. We could animate this. This is not like the well, actually this kind of pose could be useful, but for usual posing, in my experience, this is bad. So this is why instead the idea would be to have the shrink wrap. So now these bones are, oops, what is that? Why they reset like that? Okay, because these bones were differently set. Okay, so ISO has the, I have the muzzle. We could get, for example, wait, what's happening here? Why this bone is moving? Now there's something. Some strange interactions there. No, it's not about this. Has nothing to do with this structure, so it looks like that driver. Ah, maybe this is what was causing wreak havoc. Why this is happening? Ah, this is rotating this. No bone constraint here. None of these bones are parented to. Very strange. Like it's as if this bone were parented to. Okay, let's turn that off. No, it's not this. This one, right? How can this bone move this? This one has no. It's as if some bone of the head was. I don't get it. Okay, where's the. No, this is not moving the head. Well, we haven't seen the head actually. Deformation head. Copy, transform, control spine. No. Stretch to control head to. No, this has nothing to do with that. Mystery. Ah, of course. Of course. These bones deform the mesh. And of course, as they deform the mesh, they will deform the. That's why. This eventually should cause similar event. No, they are not affecting the, but if that thing was here, it will do similarly. Yes. So maybe these waves are just extrapolating there. Well, unfortunately, this should not be the reason why I was having other problems. So active group is locked. Alright. Alright, let's not touch that, so because then I'll have to reproduce it for the muzzle too. So in principle, this is just for... It is not working very well here because of this influence there. So if this was more here, maybe the influence will be even more. Yeah, so this is something that I need to investigate about the universal summit mount rig later. And I still having problem with the way of these lips. But this is not the topic now, folks. The topic, before I finish this live stream here, which is already quite long, I think, maybe about how much time here already set? Never find how much time I've set. 2 hours and a half, yes, nearly that. Fix incorrect setting of muzzle mesh when head. Okay, so then I'll show the head rotation thing, if I didn't already. Yeah, this wasn't happening, I think. It's something monstrous thing. It's urgent that I try to fix that. Not so urgent, but it's very necessary. And found out I'll actually fix muzzle goes like cheek bone. Yeah, so this is annoying. Just some retakes and this is arcade's motion. Okay, so this is also a critical problem. Alright, so I think I will start. Can I solve this now? At least let me, I want to try to find some clue about what's really going on. So let's turn off this. Let's get the arcades. Yeah, and this. And the muzzle we don't need, so let's hide again here and eyes to simplify, and here, yeah, alright. So as I get this thing, oh, hold on, I can probably do something about, let's see something here. No, that doesn't really help much. What is the alignment of this bone? Along its, yeah, it's very chaotic, along the z-axis, I guess. negative Z maybe. This is not even working properly. It doesn't offset very well, so ignore that. Alright, let's go back. Okay, so just... Oh, this is happening because the deformed bones, they are not offsetting, because this is not a deformed bone itself. Alright, so here the top teeth, they disappear. This is not good. They shouldn't go up like that. So it's something about the pivot point, or... And here this stuff is too far away. So it means I need... So I could, for example, turn off both their shrink wraps here. No, this is side motion. This is side motion. They are moving by parenting, pure parenting. Ah. Alright. Of course their pivot point is displaced. Hold on, it says all wrong. Must be on edit mode. Is the top one? Okay. Maybe I could change these colors. They don't help at all. So let's get the top one to have this one, right? So because these bones will move by parenting, yeah, the problem persists. So what I would like to do is this, right? When I move the... and I open them out here, the arcades stay. So what's the problem of this being here by default, right? So it's not that the bone needs to be... The position of the bone shouldn't matter, it's the position of the mesh. So it's a relative thing about the mesh. But at least I fixed the... Yeah, so it's nearly doing better now. Or not at all. I just changed... Yeah, not at all. This is just... there's something. Now these bones are not... Alright. I need to see... Okay, I'll have to turn off the mirror modifier for this. Let's look at these shapes. Okay, so currently the armature for those arcades are matching more or less spatially. So this is not so much. This I'll have to remember, of course. Let's have to realign those stuff. But these stuff are not matching. So let's hide that. So if the mouth was, if she had her lips down, well, let's open we don't see the lower. Yeah, let's do that. Yes, this is very exaggerated pose, but this how. Okay, so I need to get this down even more. Yes, apparently yes. This is free mesh, it's just like that. Front view. Okay, this is more. And also we don't see the teeth here, so indeed this should be, but it's already okay. So let's rotate like that. I don't like this intersection, so yeah, sounds exaggerated, but that should be more or less this rate. Okay, let's do this. And so I'll use this as a reference for the lower teeth. Maybe the mesh is a bit too... Okay, now let's ignore the positioning of this because I'll have to reset this. I'm able to see the mesh there because this is not the same mesh object now. I would like to pivot this in relation to... Yes, I have a control problem here, many, but we see that when I move this up from a front view, there is also the lip doesn't move up sufficiently, the inclination of the character design, right? Sort I need to make a, of course this is parented to, yeah, but it's not sufficient. The parenting is not sufficient to get the motion, so I need to, on top of the parenting, create a double transforms. I don't remember needing that, so maybe I did some change in the character design. So the shrink wrap will not use right now, so let's use local space rotation, local space, then before original, and so okay, now this is, so if I, let's try with this, I need to see everything to make sure. So when I move this up, oh, it's moving even more, so no, I need the, I cannot invert that. Cannot create the negative here, so I need to, instead it's a copy location. Alright, copy location, so this trick works. No, here and here, copy location, inverted, same thing, local space, offset, and on a varied influence, maybe let's start with that. And so this, without it, so let's reset. Without this, let's start with a full. So without this, we have this. With this, the lips move down immediately. So okay, so this is producing the inversion, and apparently this is not enough. I'll have to do this like no, I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Now the lips are not opening, so the rate of now, so my strategy doesn't seem to be effective. Oh, it's actually the lips need to move up more, that's it. So of course the lips are not moving up sufficiently, so sorry, just did the inverse. So let's copy location, yes, local space, offset, not invert but just a little. So oh, I did the wrong stuff. Yeah, let's yeah, copy location, let's delete here, So this now goes up, it gets a little here, so it's not moving. Oh, target, wrong target. There we go. And so now we can probably improve this. Yeah, maybe this is double transforms, won't be very natural, but what matters is that we can get at least yeah, so at least it's not is looking more natural now, but they're still, it's not great, but I think I have still figured out why before it wasn't having this problem. And it looks weird, but this is a double controller, so it's not, usually you can control like that. And like this. We have options. So if I shrink wrap that and shrink wrap that, I think things are fine. Changing this now for the quick clips. Maybe they are moving too much here according to the control mount, so maybe we can reduce this slightly. Maybe corrective smooth could fix that. Maybe these vertices here are too close and this is causing some problems. I'm on the... yeah, so maybe, yeah, fix rotations of the side lips. A very tiny thing here is exaggerated rotation of side lips. There should be a, there are many ways to solve it. Maybe reduce the wave paint here. Maybe redistribute this mesh a little better. But overall the rig seems to be satisfied. Finally, a lot of things achievable. I sort of started to fix this positioning of the... Okay, so this is looking better now. There's some intersection there that is problematic. Then what about this? What are those bones doing? They sometimes move too much, so let's see what they are. Yeah, they have a lot of constraints here. Muzzle ghost. They are constrained to that thing. Maybe it's too small inside the mouth. No, it's not too small. It's quite large, so it's not these bones will collide too much with... Occasionally they collide. Let's see the level of collisions here. This is a small value. This is a larger value. We can copy that. And what about this one? 0.3. Yes, I've carefully set those things, but let's set all to an intermediary value. 0.03. What about these ones? .03. These ones. What's happening that it's because of this one, of course. Alright, then the bottom lip, no, bottom arcade. So as I open here, okay, this is not ideal, but instead let's do this one. Right, so it's clear that this could be appearing more here. Yeah, we barely see the bottom arcade here, so these are staying in place. Sort of normal that they don't show completely on a rest pose, but let's remember that the character has this inclination here. Yeah, I can say that the lips, they might be aligned with the... It's very subtle. The lips would be... the top of the lips, so maybe... I should look at some reference for that, but... basically the... yeah, it's nearly touching, so let's do something clipping like that. Not sure, then the angle, maybe that. Yeah, so let's keep that orientation. Should I change this a little, maybe just to conform? Then the tongue can also be improved here. Let's get wrong displacement here. Need to be orthogonal. Yeah, the tongue is a bit too far from that. Oh, we see the terrible shapes there. Yeah. This is a canine, so this is not too bad, but it's also not doing a great job. Need to improve that thing. Let's try this. See that for the orientation here. We need more alignment here. Okay, now it's a little better. It's still chaotic and it's annoyed me that this thing, I have to readjust it in some way. I don't know why it get pushed. Oh, because of the deforms. Alright. Anyways, let's reset here and see what's happening here. Okay, let's say that this is better. Yes, much better. These are clipping still. Then I need to reposition these bones. Maybe I can try to... Yes, so that's it, folks. Sort of that solves the yeah, not ideal stuff. Well, maybe I can also do the same here, right? Yeah, like let's reproduce this copy location, except that we put this here and change the target, so then this as we pose here. Yes, much better. There's also this thing about this mesh being shrink wrapped, and it happens both here and here, and it's a little bizarre. Maybe it's an exaggeration, so let's just try to do something here. Hide. Yeah, I need to hide the procedural here of the mirror modifier. Hide this will help. Cannot hide this, so here I'm going to assess the I don't know which is, so let's find out. mount interior, this one, yes. Yeah, so for example, this one has very low waves. Maybe we can where is the this is closer. Interesting. So the position of these verts, maybe it's bad. I could adjust manually, but instead let's do something like that. Beyond that, I think this will be dangerous. I'll be catching this. That'll be bad. No, yeah, so just that. And then let's look here for this one, the other. Now this is shrink wrap muzzle, so it has nothing to do with that. So it was just that I was doing. So let's see if that change did anything relevant. Otherwise it's just, yeah, it's just some wave painting thing that is too strong, like it's pulling. It's not wrong, it's just not very sensible to the expressions. But now many other things are working fine, so it's not terrible. So look at this expression, so that's good. Let's turn it here on, and I think we are mostly ready to. Yeah, in part this is happening because this controller doesn't follow some arc of motion that it should, for example, according to the... I shouldn't be... Just testing some things here. These are not expected. The idea here is I want to see. Okay, so maybe these bones are not supposed to be rotated too much. Let's see if I can use some sort of arc of motion. Strange. Moving down according to this. Yeah, so the idea would be to pose these things not vertically, but this is hard to do because... No, hold on, what I'm talking about? It's not hard to do. I just need to shrink wrap them. Alright, so if they could have the same shrink wrap here except without the... Yeah, so let's crap. Let's enable that. Then we don't want, well, I could do that with, but with their other, I think that would work similarly. This one is the positive Z and the other will be the positive Z. Okay, so positive Z. If that doesn't invert them, we'll find right now. It inverts, so it's the negative Z. Ah, there we go. So we have now this possibility of controlling that. Now it follows exactly the, maybe this is not all we want, so all the time it might also create some issues. So I don't know, maybe yeah, so it offers some resistance to offsetting, which can be okay. So don't offset reciprocally, we can still do a lot of stuff there. Oh, I see that some bombs there are going crazy in this current setup. Of course, this pose shouldn't be done, but still not good clipping there. Let's try to .08 maybe. No, that's too much. It solves the clipping. 0.07, no, 0.06 then for both. Maybe this one can be a little, yeah, it was more these ones which were bad. Alright, so this is pretty funny. I think this is working. It was worth in words. It was worth it to. I don't know how to say that. It seems it was worth the effort to improve this universal sonic mount rig setup in this mixed adaptations stuff. So we are nearly I don't think the other method would give all that amount of possibilities. So let's say that this is the low process that gives a lot of yeah, with the universal sonic melt rig we get a lot of cool rewards. It's for more complex rigs probably, while the other approach with with the here maybe the clipping is not doing well in regarding this. Yeah, I'll have to, at some point I'll have to readjust this mesh anyways. Yeah, so let's note that that should be relevant. Okay, this we have to fix. It's I've had to rotate. Oh, this critical stuff. We fixed that. Yeah, muzzle. This is annoying. This is also. I think this is more urgent. Fix muzzle, ghost mesh, different vertex group. No, this is. Yes, this is related here. But this is more fundamental, so I need to investigate. Yeah, I need to check how, if similar things occur for this issue. And this is, yeah, very critical, because I don't remember having faced this problem. Yeah, I faced this problem sometimes, but now it's reappeared in some way that I'm quite concerned. Should be very soluble. So then this is probably simpler stuff, and this is less detailed. And finally, that will lead me to, oh yes, forget. So and it never ends. But here we could go to some mesh, right? Yeah, mount interior. Yeah, arcades, tone, mount interior, meshes, adjustments. Yeah. Modeling retakes, that's it. So this is fine. It's just that it is more the most critical thing. And then finally we can get those assets finally. So that was our goal here. That will be fine. We are very close to this, just a little more effort. So this is indeed the kind of rig, if we want really something more sophisticated in minute details, right? With a lot of control and shape keys and stuff like that. But it renders things way more complicated because lots of things go wrong all the time, like you see there. So it's very hard to get things, but when it works, finally it I believe it pays off depending on the project. So maybe for a long feature film or a short film that we want to expose, or maybe for portfolio we'd like something like that. But for a more simpler project or something more stylized that doesn't need all this, I'll not call that realism, but you got the idea, right? Very minute refinements on the mesh, even though stylized. So this kind of realism, cartoon realism maybe, of this depth in the aesthetics, maybe of refinement of complex shapes. This for me is not special because it's 3D. Maybe because I'm sort of new into 3D. I think this is really going more to realism, right? If you have to go on this kind of zoom exploration, right? It's too realistic, so it creates a lot of problems to solve, more than I think what it's not the purpose of the cartoon spirit, right? At least in 2D art. In 3D I don't know. In 3D everything tends to become a lot more complicated, but look, that's really good, really nice expressions. So it works, folks, but with some work, but it works. So that's it. For me, I continue doing this because I find that it's very cool to reach good results, and then maybe expose this in more adequate steps, maybe some tutorial. But what I think I'm gonna do is, after I conclude this, I'm gonna immediately try to implement this character, or I'll make an alternative version, yes, probably that, with the other rig, and see if that works. Well, it already worked on a similar version that I took apart from this, took off everything that is complicated and started to rework with the geometry nodes. And so what I need there, probably I'll try to keep this set up as much as possible, but it will be very hard to reconstruct it, time consuming, right? While the other system, I'll show you here again, just if there's the other system is basically there. You got a hole, you got a ellipse, and you get a simple armature that basically just deform the ellipse and the hole, and you get basically the same thing. And nearly there is nothing to care about. Yeah, sometimes there's something to, of course there is some things to work with. I'm a little concerned the shading here is not good enough to check, but in principle I think this is feasible for I'm a little concerned, but I don't have a good example here because of the shading, so I'm not sure. And here the ellipse that I've made was very simplified, but you see it produces very similar effects, but we don't have, at least in this rough setup, we don't have all this complexity of, I can make some, this bone is, let's see, let's turn this off. I can pull the mesh, so there are some possibilities. And this is just some nodes here. We have a boolean, and there are some problems to fix, but this is like that, boom, just do some little steps and you get this behelit mouth. And and it does a lot of things without having to care this is the muzzle face. There's so much simpler, and there you go, there's the hole. There's a legit hole, but yeah, the seam here between the lips and the face, the muzzle, might be a bit troublesome for certain cartoons. If it's very stylized, not a problem. Then the mouth interior, I'm still investigating why I cannot get. Yeah, I'm not gonna talk about this now, but there is the problematic there, and the idea of these intersections is just, I think, just because of the shrink wrap. I think I can probably solve that. Yes, by pulling the bone. Yeah, so this needs some fixing. You see, I just have 4 deformed bones here, so this is we can have a really good shape here because I can make this lip the way I want, but I cannot deform the original mesh here. So that means that if I want really these lips to be, maybe it could have a valley thing that would allow me to, yeah, so many things to explore here. And then, but in principle it's already worked like that. And okay, after the boolean there is a join, and so it joins with the lip, which is this mesh here. So you have the mouth hole, which needs to deform simultaneously with the inner contour here, and this is a bit tricky, and for editing I would like to have it automated. Maybe there might be a way with even geometry nodes to automate this process. I'm not sure. I suspect there is, I'm still checking. Then what else? Yes, the arcades. Okay, so it's the same idea. I have the same arcades with problems there. This version, I was testing Blender 4.2. I've lost the add-on here, so I'm gonna check here, Bone Manager. Where's the, okay, tweak mount, control mount, I guess, yes. Okay, so this is not gonna be optimal, but there we go. Okay, this will be better. It's hard to manipulate those things simultaneously in this state because it's not rigged together. So this is an older system. But if we check with the arcades, right? Yeah, this is not working. It's the same thing, right? We can readapt that arcades rig that I've done to this different setup. So I have, okay, this still manipulates the arcades, but I'll just have to readapt. But you see, it's very funny. It's right. It's just a different approach, and so geometry nodes were the game changer here, because without geometry nodes I couldn't find a way to join any mesh here with the face, with the lower face, with in this way. So this seems to be good enough for at least for cartoon. even for the level of, and if there might be additional ways to solve this to make it more seamless. So this is stuff to look forward to. Yeah, this, because it's not fixed, it will be always bugging like that. Bugging, no, it will be very problematic. So that's it, folks. Thanks for watching. See you tomorrow for more of this malt rigging madness in Blender, cartoon stuff. See ya next time, and take care. Happy blending. That's it, folks.